Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frank Olivo. Our program is focused on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices, and we have allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something that you can see yourself supporting, we ask that you like, comment, and share this live feed. Now, as of late, our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you, the voter, to know the truth. But remember, we will not be silenced. Now, if you're really about the cause and you want to stand up to corruption and you want to hold our elected leaders and those in leadership positions accountable, well, we ask that you subscribe to our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this program is being streamed live on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. Make sure you follow our pages on X and Facebook. We could be found under Frankie Olivo. Also follow our personal page on Facebook. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, we ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Frankie Olivo TV. Remember, Brownsville, I will never, ever ask you for money. I will never, ever ask you for food. All I ask of my community is a simple follow, a simple like, a simple subscription. It will help me go a long way. And always remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., sometimes a little bit after, religiously. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV to tune in. We will not be silenced. And always remember, Brownsville, I am forever grateful to each and every one of you for your time and attention that you provide us. Thank you so much for that. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Happy Friday, TGIF, the day that we've all been waiting for. Is it just me, or are there people out there that after it's when I open up my eyes on Monday morning, I'm like, one day closer to Friday. Well, the weekend is here, ladies and gentlemen. I am sending nothing but positive vibes to each and every one of you. I hope you have a very pleasant and swift Friday, getting us ready for the weekend. And again, I hope you have a restful, eventful, pleasant weekend with your loved ones. You know what I'll be doing? Not a darn thing, on the couch all day Saturday and all day Sunday, because I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that is your first time here, welcome. Again, Good Morning Brownsville talks about important issues that are affecting our local community. We shed light on very important issues, but we decided not too long ago to do something a bit different on Fridays. While Monday to Thursday, our program is designed to focus on current events, everything that is happening in Brownsville, South Texas, Cameron County. Fridays, we like to get ready for the weekend. We want to talk about sports. This is something that your humble servant has been working on for some time now. I never dedicated one specific day for it, but I need to keep it fresh. Our goal is to always try to attract a different audience while we are thankful that we have the eyes and ears of thousands of people that watch us on a daily basis. Thank you so much. In regards to politics, in regards to the different entities within the city of Brownsville and what's happening in our local area, Fridays is dedicated to sports. So from here till God allows, we will provide you with all the latest information regarding the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball, just about everything, with the exception of hockey and hockey and rugby. If you so were to allow me to, let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. This NFL Week 6 has so far delivered intrigue, shockers, and shifting narratives. This week kicked off with a bombshell yesterday in New York as the Giants upset the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17 on Thursday Night Football. We saw how rookie sensation quarterback Jackson Dart shined, and Cam Scatabo ran wild with three touchdowns. For those that tuned in yesterday to Amazon Prime, it was a very entertaining game. And again, here we focus on odds. We like to think ourselves as sharks. When we love to travel to Vegas, we love to go to Louisiana because we like to bet on sports. That's our thing. We always do it the responsible way, of course. Yesterday's game, ladies and gentlemen, was very, very entertaining. The New York Giants were a 7-point, a touchdown underdog against the defending champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the first half was a back and forth matchup. What was intriguing about this game is that Jalen Carter, the wall that the Philadelphia Eagles have on their defensive line, he didn't play because of a heel injury. Could that have been the reason why? We are starting to see how A.J. Brown, the phenomenal wide receiver, he was complaining of not getting enough touches last year. But as they say, winning kind of cures everything. Because while receiver divas don't get the ball as much as they would like, as long as their teams are winning, that kind of makes everything go away. But what happens when the team starts losing? And again, the Eagles, as of right now, in the NFC East, are atop of the leaderboard. Even though they did lose yesterday, they're still in a commanding lead. But for those of us that have followed this division closely, could we start to see the beginning of a change where the tide is turning? Again, the Philadelphia Eagles, before they lost last week and yesterday, they were on a 16, 17, 18 game win streak from last season to the playoff Super Bowl to this season. So it was impressive. They were at one time one of the favorites to reclaim the title in the NFL. Scatabo from Arizona State had a very impressive game. And for those individuals that have them on their fantasy league, he came up big. And for those that didn't follow, that don't remember, Scatabo, he did play against UT in the bowl game. It's hard to imagine how this running back dropped to the fourth round. Very, very impressive. It's interesting to learn how the Giants, it seems as if they found a good nucleus to the future. And look, whenever NFL teams draft a stud quarterback, a standout running back, maybe even a receiver, many people don't anticipate them to be productive, to post up big numbers. You would hope so, right? Again, you want an investment on your return quick. Many people alluded to the fact of C.J. Stroud with the Texans, Daniels with the Redskins, how they had great impacts in their rookie years. What happened after their sophomore season? Well, C.J. Stroud is in his third year. Daniels is in his second year. And we've already seen them struggle. But if I were the New York Giants and the Mora family, I like what I see from my rookie running back and my rookie quarterback. Is this the future? Are we starting to see how Jackson Dart has little by little cemented himself as the leader of the New York Giants? It's going to be very impressive moving forward. And again, maybe the scouts, they're relying on college tape and don't yet, or maybe they have not yet picked up on the tendencies for Jackson Dart. And maybe after, just like they did with Daniels with in Washington, just how they did with Stroud in Houston, maybe after the first year, defensive coordinators will have enough tape on them to learn tendencies, to study their abilities, and maybe they can strategize and plan defensively to counter his abilities. But if you are a New York Giant fan, you like what you saw from your team. Again, a 7-point underdog to make up for that and to win by double digits at home against the defending champs is very impressive. Again, are we starting to see flaws in the Eagles? There's no question that last year there were a lot of question marks in regards to the chemistry. We've spoken about A.J. Brown, who's been very vocal. He was very vocal last year. He was criticized for reading a book during the game. After the game, he did state that, not yesterday, but last year, he did state that, he was just trying to meditate. Other critics took that as a receiver being a diva. Well, last night, he was complaining after the game, and he has been complaining previously to this season. Are we starting to see how this is going to be the beginning of the end of what we once thought was the Philadelphia Eagles that are dominant? The tush push. Yesterday, they ran it 4 times in a row to get first downs. There's no question that on paper, the Philadelphia Eagles on both sides of the ball are stacked, are loaded. Maybe they were affected by Jalen Carter, their defensive tackle, not starting because of a heel injury, and he was questionable throughout the week. Maybe that's the reason why they lost. But nonetheless, if you saw yesterday's game, it was a high-powered, action-packed Thursday night football game. One thing that I've been following, ladies and gentlemen, is the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's no question, Barkley is a stud in the backfield. But when we compared him to someone like the Dallas Cowboys, who in my opinion won the lottery with Javonte Williams, if we compare their stats and compare their salaries, to me, so far, it's a no-brainer. Javonte Williams has less carries than Barkley, but he's got more rushing yards. Are we starting to see where the Philadelphia Eagles aren't running their horse as they should? Williams is also leading Barkley in touchdown totals. As of right now, Javonte Williams is top 5. I believe he's number 3 or 4 in leading rushers. I know it's the first quarter of the season. You know, maybe we could have this conversation once again once we get deeper into the season. But it's very impressive because whenever you compare these stats, whenever you compare the annual salary and the cap hit that the Philadelphians have with Barkley making $20.6 million compared to Williams making 3.5. Many people have questioned and stated, you don't need a stud running back. Now, for the Eagles, that was the case. Many people allude to the fact that even though the Philadelphia Eagles did make it to the Super Bowl, they were one piece away. Barkley, it's hard to argue that he wasn't that piece because they won the Super Bowl last year. But something that I've been following is maybe you don't need to pay a running back so much. Maybe you could find a gem here and there. Javonte Williams did come from Denver, where he did suffer a knee injury. And look what he's been doing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys, as of right now, are a top, I think they're leading in total offense. Dak Prescott, whenever he's healthy, is a top 5 quarterback. And I know many people would argue against that. But again, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So that is something that stood out to me for the Eagles. Does their offense rely heavily on Barkley? Yes, they do. So do the Cowboys. And look at the success that they've had at the start of this season. Another interesting fact that I've been following is Micah Parsons. Everyone was up in arms. Your servant as well was questioning. Oh my goodness, Jerry, what are you doing? You made a mistake, Jerry. This is the heart and soul of our defense. How could you trade the best defensive lineman in the game? But when we look so far, and I know what you're saying, it's early in the season, but the Cowboys did get 2 first rounds from the Packers. As of right now, Micah Parsons' replacement, James Houston, has more sacks than him. And look at the contract. Look at the annual salary. Maybe moving forward, Jerry wasn't so dumb about this move. So again, time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward. But as of right now, the Cowboys have hit it big. So far, luck has been on their side with Javonte Williams in being a top 3, top 4 running back in this short start to the season with an annual salary of $3.5 million. And also, James Houston, he's producing more than Micah Parsons is right now. And look at the salary discrepancy. Just something to follow, just something to keep in mind. I saw this stat and it got me thinking, well, maybe Jerry wasn't so dumb after all. What's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting to learn from the start of this week 6 NFL season. I don't know how you feel, but I love waking up at 8 a.m. and having football ready. For the 3rd week in a row, we're going to have football from sun up to sundown. 8:30 Central Time, the Denver Broncos will face the New York Jets in London. Denver is favored to win big by 7.5. The Jets last week against the Cowboys suffered an embarrassing loss at home against the Cowboys. And at one time last week, the Jets were favored to win. How could that be? At home against a struggling defensive team, which are the Cowboys. You have Justin Fields, who many thought was going to, a new team, a new offensive coordinator, new opportunity. Maybe he was going to shine. The Jets have yet to win this season. They have a brand new coach in Terry Glenn, a former player for the Jets. But I don't know about you, but I love waking up at 8 a.m. on a Sunday, turning on the tube and watching football. I have the Jets winning this game. I have it close though, even though the even though the Jets got slaughtered last week against the Cowboys, I do have them keeping it close. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Jets pull off their first victory in an upset against the Broncos in London. The Arizona Cardinals do travel to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is favored to win by 7.5, and there is some controversy from the Cardinals. If you didn't watch last week, we had the running back, DeMarcado, who rushed on a 75-yard breakaway. He dropped the ball right before he crossed the goal line. That mistake ultimately cost the Arizona Cardinals the victory. They were in a commanding lead against the Tennessee Titans. Lo and behold, that mistake ended up biting them in the butt because the Tennessee Titans got turnovers, ended up kicking the game-winning field goal at the end of regulation. The head coach, Gannon, went to his running back, and he just let him have it. He ripped him, and it seemed like if he punched him, the head coach was fined $100,000 for his altercation. Now, he did apologize to the team. He did apologize to DeMarcado, but the damage, in my opinion, has already been done. What is this going to do to the team morale? What is this going to do to DeMarcado, the running back? And for those that aren't aware, James Conner, the starting running back for the Cardinals, is out with a serious knee injury 2 weeks ago. Right now, the backfield is split with Carter and DeMarcado. Many people have argued that after DeMarcado's blunder on the goal line, again, all he needed to do was walk in. He was waltzing in. For whatever reason, it seems as if he celebrated early and he threw the ball. So, are we going to see how DeMarcado is not going to be into the game plan? There's also question marks in regards to Murray, the starting quarterback. He's got lingering injuries. He didn't practice on Thursday, didn't practice on Friday. Is he going to start? Is that the reason why Indianapolis is favored to win big? Maybe because they're at home? I like the Colts in this one. I have them winning big, depending on Murray, Kyler Murray, if he starts for the Cardinals, and the Colts, who can, the Colts have been impressive so far. 4-1 in the AFC South. Many people question the head coach turning to journeyman Daniel Jones for starting him over the first-round pick of Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is a specimen. On paper, he has the attributes. He's big, he's tall, he's got a strong arm, but he couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't hit his reads. Daniel Jones, who was thought to be the savior of the New York Giants, maybe it was the team, maybe it was the head coach. He went to Minnesota, backed up Sam Darnold there, and then he ultimately signed to compete for the starting job for the Indianapolis Colts. And so far, he's been the missing piece. It's early in the season, but so far, the Colts are looking like a contender in the AFC South. The Patriots do travel to Nolens, Louisiana. New England is favored to win by 3.5. The Saints did beat the New York Giants last week. Rattler, that used to play for Oklahoma, he ended up transferring to South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. It seems as if Kellen Moore is starting to implement his offense. And look, they have produced points. Is C.J. Rattler the future of the NFL? The future of the Nolan Saints? It's too early to tell. But the Patriots, last week are coming off an impressive victory against Buffalo in New York. Drake May did have a command of the offense, and he did lead his New England Patriot team, his offense, to victory, which was impressive in my eyes. So I have the upset here. I have the New Orleans Saints. I like what I saw against the New York Giants last week. I have them having continued success at home. Again, I'll either tell you if I think they're going to win or they're going to cover. I like the Saints covering this game. I think this is going to be a close game. Last minute field goal, last minute touchdown, but I have the Saints covering with the possibility of the New England Patriots winning the game. The Cleveland Browns have been in the news as of late. They did trade their veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco, to the Cincinnati Bengals. There has been a lot of drama in the background in regards to Shedeur Sanders, the son of primetime Deion Sanders. He was drafted in the 5th, 6th round. Dylan Gabriel was drafted out of Oregon in the 3rd round. Many people have been questioning, what are the Browns doing? They have Deshaun Watson, who's coming off an Achilles injury, who many anticipate that there's a possibility that he could come back this season, depending on how his rehab is going. He's being paid $30-40 million a year. Did it become where the quarterback room was just too big, that they felt as if Joe Flacco would be better off with a draft pick from the Cincinnati Bengals? Possibly. But now we have Shedeur Sanders, who is a diva. There's no question. Many people thought, he was the 3rd depth quarterback on the depth chart behind Flacco and Gabriel. Now there's even questions as to, is he even going to be the backup quarterback to Gabriel? Many people are saying Zappy, that used to play for New England, he's going to be the backup quarterback. There's a lot of question marks in regards to the depth chart right now. The Browns coach has been so far non-committal on Shedeur Sanders' spot on the depth chart for the quarterbacks. I have Pittsburgh winning big, even though this is a division rivalry. I do like what I have seen so far from Aaron Rodgers, DJ Metcalf. They have a good nucleus. Their defense is strong. The Cleveland Browns defense is also stand out with Myles Garrett on the defensive side. But I do have the Steelers winning big. I don't like what I see from Dylan Gabriel. He is not the future of the Cleveland Browns. I have Seattle. I have the Steelers. The Steelers covering the spread on this game. The Cowboys, after their victory against the New York Giants, do travel to Carolina. The Cowboys have the number 1 offense in the NFL. Dak Prescott is playing lights out. It's impressive because CeeDee Lamb is hurt, and the Cowboys could be without his services for the next few weeks. The Cowboys are favored to win by 3, even though the Panthers did pull off an impressive victory against Miami last week. I do like the Cowboys to win big. I have been very impressed with their offense. We spoke about the sensational gem that they found in Javonte Williams in the backfield. I have the Cowboys winning this game, and I have them winning big. I have the Cowboys covering the spread. San Diego is without their running backs. Najee Harris did tear his Achilles. Omarion Hampton, the rookie, is placed on the IR. The Chargers will have a running back by committee on Sunday, and that's impressive because they are still favored to win by 4.5. The Miami Dolphins have been struggling. Even though they have lost Tyreek Hill, I like the pickup. The pickup this offseason of Darren Waller, the tight end who made it big, made a name for himself with the Raiders. He was traded to the Giants last year, and then he suddenly retired. Many people thought that, he possibly jumped back into his substance abuse and he was having those problems, those issues again. He said, no, I just didn't want to play for the Giants. Can you blame him? He retired last year only to be acquired this year. And so far, in the 2 games that he has played, he has been lights out. For those fantasy owners, he has posted impressive numbers, double digits in these past 2 games. I picked them up on waivers. I expect with the loss of Tyreek Hill for Tua Tagovailoa to target players such as Waddle and Waller. I have an upset in this game. I have the Dolphins covering and winning this game easily. Seattle does travel to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is coming off an impressive victory on Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. In this game, Jacksonville is favored to win by a close game, according to Vegas, by 1. I like Seattle. I like Sam Darnold. I like their running backs. I like their offense. It's impressive how they have managed to keep up with the Niners, who have been impressive this season. They have a stud wide receiver in Jackson Smith-Njigba. I have Seattle winning this game. I have them winning easily. I'm still not a believer in Trevor Lawrence. He is in his 5th, 6th year in the league, and he still has not been lights out. He's still struggling. The only reason why they won last game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I would make the argument, was because the defensive line, Carter Jones, wasn't putting in effort. We saw how Trevor Lawrence fell twice on the goal line, only for him to walk into the end zone. I will jump on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon if he wins against the Seahawks, because again, the Seahawks have a decent defense. But again, until then, I have Seattle beating the Jacksonville Jaguars easily. The Ravens have been a disappointment thus far. Many people put them in the Super Bowl, in the AFC Championship game. You have Lamar Jackson. You have Bernard Hopkins. You have Hopkins, the wide receiver. You have King Henry. Their defense right now is depleted. Lamar Jackson is hurt. Are we going to see the beginning of the end of Harbaugh and his tenure at Baltimore? He did win them a Super Bowl title. But how many years does a coach have of cushion after he wins the title? Many people argue, hey, look at Mike Tomlin. He won a Super Bowl. He's still with the Steelers, even though he's had his rough seasons. I believe a new regime is needed with the Ravens. There have been a disappointment at 1-4. The Rams are favored to win by 7.5. I do have them covering this spread. Matthew Stafford, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Williams in the backfield. They're just lights out. Matthew Stafford is a stud out of Dallas. He had a great season he had a great college career in Georgia, had a pretty solid career in Detroit, and now he's a stud in my opinion. I have the Rams winning big. I have them covering the spread. The Titans do travel to Las Vegas and face the Raiders. According to Vegas, the Raiders are favored to win by 4. I'm going to go with the upset in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. I am starting to like what Cam Ward has been showing on the field. He did show a lot of poise last week in the drive that ultimately ended up securing their victory against the Arizona Cardinals. I like the Titans in this game. I have them winning this game against the Raiders. Geno Smith has been a turnover machine. He's averaging at least 2 interceptions per game. There's no question that the Raiders did hit it big with Ashton Gentry, their running back out of Boise State. But you need a quarterback. You need somebody that will not turn over the ball. Geno Smith hasn't been clutch when his team needed him the most. I do have the Tennessee Titans with the upset in Las Vegas. We spoke earlier how the Cleveland Browns did trade for Joe Flacco. Cincinnati Bengals do travel to Green Bay. Green Bay is favored to win big by 14. Now, I'm always very cautious, and I always tend to take the points. Whenever it's college football, you can get in trouble because you have teams that will run up the score. But whenever it comes to the NFL, heck, it's any given Sunday. Anything could happen. So, me looking at this game, the Green Bay Packers haven't been lights out on defense. They got a good, talented quarterback in Jordan Love. And Jacobs, the running back. They got a solid receiving core. But I'm not sold in them scoring 15 points and covering the spread. Chase Brown, it's obvious that the Cincinnati Browns have no confidence in him. That is the reason why they traded for Joe Flacco, who has been played in big games, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But to me, it's hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to go against the points. I think that's the easy thing to do. So I like Green Bay winning this game, but I don't think they're going to be able to run up the score on Cincinnati. I do have the Bengals covering the spread for this game. When we talk about the college football, ladies and gentlemen, is in week 8. And often during this time, it serves as a turning point. Non-conference dust has settled. Conference play is in full swing. And playoff aspirations begin to sharpen. We start getting close to the games that actually matter. This is where contenders separate themselves from pretenders through big, meaningful matchups and statement wins. Underdogs emerge, ranked teams fall, and suddenly every possession matters a lot more. At this stage, the injury depth, coaching adjustments, and mental fortitude, they start making or breaking seasons. This is the time that we love. Rivalry games, divisional battles, breakout performances across the country. They define the narrative going forward. With the first half of the season no longer just a warm-up, but a prelude to the dramatic push towards the postseason. And for us here locally, we have been very impressed so far with the UTRGV Vaqueros, who after 6 games, they have an impressive 5-1 record in the Southland Conference. This week, they do have a bye. In the standings, it's anyone's game. UTRGV is 1-1 in conference, 5-1 overall. They did lose to Southeast Louisiana, who is 2-0 in the conference. Next week's going to be a very telling matchup when the Vaqueros travel to face the Lamar Cardinals next Saturday. Not today, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, October 18th at 3 p.m. This game could be watched on ESPN Plus. There is no question that the Vaqueros have a dynamic offense. How are we going to be able to withstand the Lamar Cardinals? They're 3-0 at home. Are we going to be able to dethrone them? Only time will tell. Lamar does face East Texas A&M, who, in my mind, they should beat them big. Northwestern State does play Houston Christian, who played the UTRGV Vaqueros last week. I have Northwestern State winning this game. Houston Christian looks more like a JV team to me. Lamar, I have Lamar winning big against East Texas A&M. For those that remember, in the second week of the season, East Texas A&M lost big to Florida State. Going to be an interesting week for the Southland Conference. Iowa State does travel to Colorado. Iowa State is favored to win by 2.5. Many people are questioning whether Deion Sanders is starting to pull out. If they're starting to pull out of Colorado, he did say he did appear in the game last week with only one shoe on. He has been having trouble with blood clots in his leg. They amputated his big toe. Are we starting to see where Deion Sanders is retreating from the program? His son, both of his sons aren't there. Does he have anything else to give? Everyone thought that Colorado was going to be back into prominence because they got all the media attention, all the hype was with Colorado because, again, it is prime time. We haven't seen that dynamic team that we thought they were going to have, that we were promised. I have Iowa State winning this game big. Arkansas Razorbacks do travel to Tennessee. Tennessee is favored to win by 12.5. I like Tennessee at home, covering the spread. Florida is coming off an impressive victory against UT at home. They do travel to Aggieland, where they face the number 5th ranked Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M is favored to win by 7.5. I do have Florida covering the spread. I think this is going to be closer than Vegas anticipates. Kansas Jayhawks do travel to Texas Tech. Very impressive. We have Texas A&M ranked number 5. Texas Tech in Lubbock ranked number 9. Texas Tech is favored to win by 14. This week, tomorrow, will be a blackout game. I have Texas Tech winning big, covering the spread in this game. The Georgia Bulldogs do travel to Auburn, Alabama. They are favored to win by 3.5. I do like Georgia. I like them bouncing back against their loss against the was it Bama? It was Bama. I do have Georgia covering the spread. Michigan Wolverines do travel to the Coliseum. I have an upset in this game. The Trojans are favored to win by a field goal, 2.5. I have Michigan going into the Coliseum and winning this game. The disappointment so far in the SEC, in my opinion, has been LSU. They are ranked number 11. South Carolina, with a 3-2 record, are favored to lose by 10 points. I have South Carolina keeping it close, even though LSU is at home. I do have LSU Tigers winning, but I have South Carolina Gamecocks keeping the game close. BYU, undefeated record, do travel to Arizona. BYU is favored to win by a field goal. I have this game. To me, it's a no-brainer. BYU is bigger, stronger, faster than the Arizona Wildcats. I like BYU. Arizona State does travel to Utah. Utah is favored to win by 8.5. I like Arizona State. I think this will be an upset. I can guarantee. Well, there's no guarantees in life. If I was a betting man, I would bet the spread of 8.5. I would even buy the 0.5 just to be +9 for the Arizona State Devils. I have them covering the spread against Utah at home. South Florida does travel to Denton and face North Texas. UNT in Denton is favored to win by 1.5. I hate to say this, but I like South Florida in this game. I have them winning against North Texas. Ohio State does travel to Illinois, to Champaign, Illinois. Ohio State is favored to win by 14.5. I think this is going to be closer than what Vegas anticipates. I do have Ohio State winning this game, but I do like the Illini keeping it close. Alabama, Missouri. Alabama's favored to win by 3. I like Alabama in this game against Missouri, who will be at home. Pittsburgh and Michigan and Florida State. Florida State did lose against Miami Hurricanes in a very, very tough game. I like Florida State winning this game comfortably at home. Mississippi, the 4th-ranked team, will play against Washington State. Mississippi is favored to win big by 32 points. I think it's going to be, again, high-powered offense Lane Kiffin has in the Ole Miss Rebels. 31 points is just too much for me. I like Washington State covering the spread. Indiana does travel to Salem, Oregon. Battle of undefeateds, number 3 against number 7. Oregon is favored to win by 7.5. I think Oregon's too strong. Then with home field advantage, I'll take Oregon winning by 10 points. The Red River Shootout, Oklahoma undefeated. This is a teaser. This is what I don't understand about Vegas. This is what I don't understand. Arch Manning, in my opinion, has showed that he's not capable of taking command of the offense. There have been question marks in regards to his mechanics in this short season. How is Oklahoma, and I understand they are without their starting quarterback, number 10, Mateer, who is suffering with a hand injury, but OU is only favored to win by 1? I find that like an easy pick for OU. It's a toss-up game, essentially. Red River Shootout. It's not what many anticipated this would be this year. I like the Sooners winning big against UT. Virginia Tech does travel to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is favored to win by 14.5. I'll take Georgia Tech all day, every day. NC State does travel to South Bend. Notre Dame is favored to win by 24 points. I like NC State covering the spread. Now, baseball, ladies and gentlemen. To me, I love baseball. I love baseball, and it's been a very entertaining playoffs, at least for me. So far, at least for me in this short season. What we have seen, ladies and gentlemen, what we have seen as of late has been very, very exciting. The 2025 Major League Playoffs has delivered drama, upsets, and standout performances as the field narrows towards the pennant races. In the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers did advance to the National Championship League Series. They are still awaiting the winner of Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago Cubs. Yesterday in extra innings, the Dodgers ended up pulling off a victory in a blunder by the Philadelphia Eagles. Instead of going to first base and getting the third out, the pitcher buckled and he got the ball and he threw it erratically home, which ended up securing the victory for the Dodgers. Yesterday, we had the Chicago Cubs beat the Milwaukee Brewers, where the series is tied 2-2. Gonna be interesting to see who will face the Los Angeles Dodgers. If you recall last week, possibly the week before, no, it was last week, I have the Dodgers, Brewers, with the Dodgers winning the pennant, going to the World Series. In the AL, I have Toronto Blue Jays, who I predicted correctly, who beat the New York Yankees. And I have the Tigers. I have the Tigers with the upset. So I have Toronto, Detroit, LA, Dodgers, and Milwaukee. I have the Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays facing off in the World Series, and I have the Dodgers once again winning the game. To me, baseball is my favorite sport. I love baseball. I could watch it all day. Many people complain about it, but to me, I I absolutely I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Best believe Good Morning Brownsville Sports Talk will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. religiously, sometimes a little bit after, but make sure you tune in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Right now, we're currently at 817, if I'm not mistaken. So little by little, we're climbing up. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, everything's going to be A-okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Peace!